Salutations. AIDS, which stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome, is a Greek tragedy of a disease. By the time you're diagnosed, your immune system is in shambles. Your ability to defend yourself is completely compromised as opportunistic diseases ravage your defenseless body.
But AIDS is a deplorable end to the war that your immune system has lost. However, there are many years of action that preceded this. In reality, AIDS is caused by the human immunodeficiency virus. It's capable of tearing your immune system to shreds and is spread by the mixing of contaminated bodily fluids.
There are many ways that HIV can be spread. Some of the methods are pregnancy and breastfeeding.
Sharing of contaminated needles.
Unprotected sexual intercourse. Wait, where are we?
Infected blood transfusions. But trust me, I am not infected.
Oh, Bilal, how did you get yourself into this mess?
Well, it's a long story, but for you guys, I'll cut it short. When I went to King Fahd Hospital, I realized they had a donation center there for blood, and obviously one of the main ways that HIV can transfer is through infected blood. I decided, why don't I donate my own blood and we can follow it to see the precautions King Fahd Hospital takes to ensure it's not infected at all.
And that's exactly what the gang did. Off they went to the Prince Abdul Majid Dialysis Center near King Fahd Hospital. As they made it to the blood donation chamber, Bilal was getting increasingly nervous, but he managed to power through the pain and donate his blood. After that, it got separated into red blood cells and plasma and was never seen again.
Wait. What actually did happen to my blood? I'm sorry, I'll be right back. Doctor, what happened to my blood?
I'm glad you asked, my friend. Well, we can't just donate your blood to any person in the neighborhood. It needs to go through some tests. That's why here in King Fahd Hospital, we have to run it through a couple of machines. First, we start off with the Arctic and Alinity machines, which do the serology test. This is to check for antibodies and antigens. And then we run it through the COBAS to check if your blood has any RNA or DNA fragments that resemble dangerous viruses. Together, these machines check for each other's errors to make a more accurate result. And as an added step, here in King Fahd Hospital, we also check for malaria just in case. And during the first two machines, we make sure that you don't have HIV. And those aren't the only health precautions we have here at King Fahd. After all, if a patient has HIV in their blood, we need to make sure that it doesn't spread everywhere. That's why we have a lot of health precautions. First, we can't reuse needles. All hospital equipment has to be sterilized, your wounds have to be sterilized, and any infected blood needs to be get rid of.
Because of all of the preventative measures that King Fahd employs, it's really hard to see a live case study of AIDS. Therefore, we need to make one ourselves.
Did you just stab me? It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. That was psychopath behavior, though. I'm never hanging out with you again.
Oh, it's very much not fine now. Thanks to the HIV contaminated needle, the HIV is now present in Ramiz's bloodstream. There, it will start attacking his CD4 positive helper T lymphocytes, otherwise known as the helper T cell. You can think of them as the all-purpose commanders of the immune system. Their existence is very crucial to your survival, and without them, your defenses will become paralyzed. I wonder where Amin was when this happened.
Yach, I leave them for a moment and Bilal stabs Ramiz with a needle.
Okay, why are you making a big deal out of it? He poked me with a needle. He's a bit of a psychopath, but I don't have HIV. Oh, you certainly do, and they are rapidly replicating. After the virus logs onto the CD4 protein receptors of your helper T cell, it inserts itself into the cell. Inside, the reverse transcriptase enzyme initiates reverse transcription. You see, HIV is a retrovirus. meaning that its genetic code is in the form of RNA. But in order to infect you, it needs to turn its genetic material into DNA, which is exactly what the aforementioned process does. After that, the integrase enzyme drags the viral DNA into the nucleus of the cell and inserts it into your cell's DNA. The new gene orders your helper T cell to synthesize more HIV viruses, and once there are enough, the cell bursts due to apoptosis, sending in many more viruses to infect more of your immune system. I hope that was an interesting case study, Bilal.
Well, I don't see what the problem was. We needed a case study. I saw Ramiz right next to me. 2 and 2, put it together, khalas.
At this point, Ramiz is in the early acute stage of the infection. He currently has a high viral load in his blood, and during this phase of the infection, most people are asymptomatic or display mild symptoms, which is dangerous, since this is when the virus is the most likely to spread through the acknowledged methods of transmission. In Ramiz's case, though, he is displaying flu-like symptoms, some of which are fever, headache, sore throat, muscle aches, and fatigue. Poor Ramiz.
Ramiz has been getting worse ever since Bilal stabbed him with the needle. I keep telling him to get tested for HIV, but he keeps refusing. Everyone in the college thinks he has AIDS.
Ramiz definitely has AIDS.
I think Ramses definitely has AIDS.
I genuinely think Ramiz has AIDS.
Actually, Ramiz might have AIDS.
What? I don't get what any of these people are talking about. I don't have HIV. I'm Okay. I am a little sicker than usual. But I don't have AIDS.
Well, he's about to. You see, without medication, HIV will continue to spread across the body, destroying more and more helper T cells in the process. Healthy individuals typically have around 500 to 1400 CD4 cells per microliter. But once they reach 200 cells per microliter, Ramiz will officially have AIDS. At this point, the immune system is devastated. Your helper T cells help activate your B cells, which produce antibodies, your greatest weapon against infections. They also strengthen your innate immune soldiers in the midst of the battle, empowering them to fight once again. So suffice to say, Ramiz is absolutely screwed, because now other opportunistic pathogens have penetrated Ramiz's body. And while a healthy immune system would normally be capable of handling them, Ramiz's paralyzed immune system could not. His body got overwhelmed, and he died. All from a little playful poke of a needle.
I have no words. I hate to say I told him so. I guess that's the importance of HIV testing.
Absolutely. Had Ramiz not been as stubborn and in denial and tested for HIV, he could have detected the virus early and started taking antiretrovirals, aka ARVs. They are a group of medications that work in different ways to inhibit the spread of HIV. If Ramiz started them, his viral load would decrease significantly, eventually becoming undetectable in his blood. Individuals with undetectable HIV levels are able to lead long and healthy lives, with a very low risk of transmitting the disease themselves. However, they will have to be on those medications for the rest of their lives. So yes, Ramiz's death was absolutely preventable.
Well, he died, but at least we got some good content out of it, didn't we?
So, that's how the story ends. Bilal was a psychopath, Ramiz died in denial, and Amin was ambivalent to it all. Well, not quite. Like all good stories, there is a plot twist.
Surprise!
You really thought I would be able to be destroyed that easily? There is one last thing I didn't mention. You see, when I started off this college project, I knew that Bilal would be too dangerous to collaborate with. That's why I took a type of ARV called pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP. This is a preemptive medication taken by individuals with a high risk of contracting HIV, like me, being around Bilal with a needle. The medication is stored in the body and stops any potential HIV viruses from establishing themselves inside the body. And what about my symptoms? Well, I'm a great actor, and I needed to buy myself some time to plan out my revenge. After all, vengeance is a dish best served cold. Although, to be honest, that said, I have no idea how anyone fell for my trick. After all, it takes 8 to 10 years for a person to develop AIDS after the initial HIV infection. But they all fell for it. Anyway, I'd love to chat more. But it is time to enact my revenge. Dr. Ramez, signing out.